Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Alex. Welcome to another episode of the Long 2 NBA podcast. This is episode number 44 with my co-host Nate.
What's up?
What up? Seth isn't here today because he had to do some. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Of course, we're going to go through the finals, talk about all that, the injuries, the outcome, pretty much everything. And, of course, the big trade happened yesterday, I think it was, with Anthony Davis going to the Lakers, which we'll talk about that, and then the other little stuff that's going on around the league, a couple rumors and other trades, so hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about the finals. Of course, we know the outcome. The Raptors beat the Warriors in 6, and I honestly should have seen this coming, considering how much we talked about, Kevin Durant and when he would come back. Seth actually called it. I had to give him props the other day, because he said Raptors in 6, and I told him, I was like, they got to win a lot of games at Oracle, and he was like, yeah, that's how it works. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I just mentioned the KD injury, so we might as well touch on it real quick. Came back for game 5, ruptured his Achilles, played, I think it was 12 minutes, scored 11 points, and the Warriors won that game by 1 point. And it was confirmed, I think, the next day that it was a ruptured Achilles. He had the surgery and whatnot, so he's going to miss at least a year, which is really unfortunate because, obviously you never want injuries to happen, but especially to guys of that caliber, you never know if they're going to come back as the same or not.
Fortunately.
So we'll see what happens with that, but the reason that I picked the Warriors to win is because I assumed he would come back sooner and obviously wouldn't get seriously injured again, but that's kind of water under the bridge now. It happened a while ago. The fingers have been pointed, but really it's just a freak accident, I think. I don't think there's anything to, blame people for. I mean, if he was cleared to play and it was ultimately his decision, then I don't see why anybody should try to blame the Warriors organization or whatever, because he wanted to be out there he called them his brothers,
Yeah, I think it'd be more so on KD than it would be anyone else.
Yeah.
If it was a matter of he rushed the injury or not, because when have the Warriors ever really rushed somebody out?
Yeah, and
they don't really have a track record of doing something like that.
Right, exactly. And then on this stage, you're trying to win a championship and you're facing elimination. You want your guys
Doesn't
out
add
there,
up.
but yeah, he himself wanted to be out there. It's not like they forced him to play or whatever. But let's talk more about the actual game stuff. We'll get to Klay a little bit later. The Raptors just showed great I don't think there was anybody on that team who played bad in the finals at all.
They just outclassed them, really. They're just the better defensive team, the better offensive team.
Yeah.
The more disciplined team.
So much.
The Warriors were turning the ball over. I don't think I've ever seen a team turn the ball over as much as Golden State was. They were just throwing it away.
Yeah, and that was a lot of credit to the Raptors defense.
Yeah, you remember Game 5? They were begging to lose that game when Draymond stepped over the line. And
yeah, almost. That was bad. The backcourt violation, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then even Game 2,
there were a lot of games where they were just kind of sloppy with their possessions, and the Raptors capitalized on everything from the injuries to their mistakes on the floor. Everything, and guys like Fred VanVleet, Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam, Danny Green, obviously Kawhi, Kyle Lowry. Literally everybody played so well, and it was so cool to see them do that as a team because they were obviously the better team and deserved to win this championship.
They had 9 or 10 guys who could score, dribble. You've heard it. I'm sure you. Yeah, exactly. Just hadn't. They just.
What'd you say?
It just went deep. This was one of the few teams I've seen that was deep in the regular season and could still go deep in the playoffs, because a lot of the times, depth will taper off, but they stuck with it.
They dug really deep for literally everything.
Yeah.
I can't believe how well some of those guys played on that stage. Not saying that I didn't believe in them to do it, but saying it and then actually doing it are two different things.
Totally.
And
Fred was incredible too.
Man, he was clutch in multiple games, hitting big threes, and playing pretty good defense on Steph Curry too.
Right. Even if it was like I know they were going to the box and win at times, but just like being physical with him too really helped them out in getting the ball out of Steph's hands and wearing him down to
when he's pretty much the lone scoring option for a lot of the game. You got to do what you can to make him uncomfortable, and I guess the saying, make him feel you. And they did a great job of doing that, and he still averaged like 30-something, but I mean, they did their job for sure.
And him and Quinn Cook were pretty much the only two guys who could get their own shot, honestly.
And Quinn Cook is like a Walmart version of that. Like, maybe he can get his own shot, but like not really.
It's
you know what I mean?
Well, we're up 27. He can get his own shot, but
yeah. I don't know. He did make some big shots. I think it was game 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Game 2 hit that clutch one.
Yeah, but there were so many big shots in this series, and man, this was just like one of the best final series in a long time. And now that the dust has settled, I go back and I'm watching the highlights of them, and it was really fun to watch. I mean, obviously, you don't want a team to be injured, and you don't want like the outcome of it to be based on that. Or decided by that, rather.
Yeah.
But I still believe that if the Warriors were healthy, they should have won. But that's not to discredit Toronto, because they played so well and had the best player at this point in time. And,
I agree. If they have Kevin Durant, they're winning.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's talk about Klay. He ended up tearing his ACL in Game 6, and I think they said that's like a 7 to 8 month recovery time. So if he comes back, it's not going to be till like towards the tail end of the regular season or like start of the playoffs next year, assuming they make it.
Yeah, you're right.
So this is kind of going to be like I guess you could say like a pause on the Warriors' kind of current run.
Loop year, what do they call it?
Like
something.
A gap year, I guess you could say.
Gap year, there you go.
Because
That's
you're
the
missing
word
two of your best players, and I don't think the dynasty is over or anything like that. If KD and Klay come back as close to or the same as they were, I think they still have another championship run in them. At least another title.
Actually, hard, man, because I mean,
so much can change from now till then.
Yeah,
you never really
KD,
know.
And when they say like after the year after you miss you tear your Achilles, the next year is pretty much a year where you get back to your form.
Yeah, he still might not be the same.
Exactly.
For
he's going to be
another 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Which is he's going to be 33 by then.
Yeah, and that's crazy. And history will not support this idea that you can come back as the same player. I mean, the only guy to ever really do it was Dominique Wilkins back in the day.
Yeah.
And history is not kind to this injury. So
absolutely not.
So yeah. I hope that he can come back as the same, but I am a little skeptical because, like I said, history won't support that for the most part.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. But do you think now that Klay and KD are going to be out for next year, do you think there's a chance they both re-sign or what? I think that they all know, like, had they won this championship and they were all healthy, it would be different. But I feel like they feel like they left something on the table and sort of feel like they missed out on their three-peat. So I feel like they'd want to run it back, and this will open the door for both of them to come back. Because Brian Windhorst said the Warriors are planning to offer them both the 5-year max dollars. So what do you think about that?
A mistake?
Well, it might be if they're not the same. But assuming they are, I mean, obviously it's not a mistake. But what do you agree with that about them? This may be opening the door.
I wouldn't be surprised if he took a 1 year. Kevin Durant did.
A 1
year deal, maybe. Just a 1 year to recover.
He recovers? Oh, well, he could still opt in and collect $30 million.
Well, yeah, but then again, you want that long-term security.
Yeah, and a lot of teams are still going to offer him max deals, even after this
Yeah.
injury. But I just think knowing that the opportunity to three-peat was kind of lost because of the injuries, I feel like they'd want to come back. Do you agree with that? Or do you think they'd still want to leave? I know Clay's coming back, but
I'm at first, if you had asked me a day or two ago, I was teetering between Kevin Durant staying, but then you hear stuff like Steve Kerr has no clue what's going on, and I know Clay's staying, that's done, but
yeah,
it's really Kevin because he seems really unpredictable. And I remember in 2016, there was like a report that his brother was pretty much guaranteeing that.
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember, right?
It's like fill up the hand with rings and then get out of there or something like that.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, things change, So I wouldn't be surprised or feel any kind of way if he left. I mean, we all kind of expected this, but I just feel like given the circumstances and knowing that they might have. I mean, we don't know what would have happened if they had been healthy. I still would have given the Raptors like a shot at least, but given the situation, I feel like things have changed, so maybe he'll want to come back. I don't know. We'll see, but that's just kind of how I feel. I feel like I think it's more so towards him staying now than if you asked me a few weeks ago, I probably would have said he's leaving, before the injury happened. So
It's going to be a rough season, though, for Golden State.
I don't know what they're going to do. I mean,
especially, think about it. If they offer them both, what Windhorse is reporting.
Yeah. They're going to be without him for the whole season, pretty much.
Yeah. That's
a lot of money on the books for guys who aren't playing.
You can't use that.
It's for down the road when they make another run.
But you can't use that on, who are you going to trot out there, right?
Yeah.
You have to trot out.
You got to bring out something. What they were, that lineup in those last teetering games of the finals was not it.
Looney's going to be a 30 minutes per game guy. Alfonso McKinney's probably going to be a 25 to 30 minutes per game guy.
I don't know.
Who's going to start in place of Clay? Think about it.
Yeah, dude, it's
because Livingston, they're going to waive him.
Cook, maybe. I don't know. Man. They're going to have to make some trades if they want to stay competitive, or they could tank. But that's not good. Tanking doesn't work anymore. We saw that this year.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Develop whoever they get?
I don't know, man. You still have Steph Curry. You're going to I think you and I were saying between 40 and 48 wins-ish. I mean, they might still make the playoffs, but at what gain? I don't know. I feel like this is just it's going to be a wasted year of Steph Curry while he's still in his prime.
I'm starting to even come off of the 48 part. I'm thinking closer to 44 now.
Hey, I mean, we don't know what the league is going to look like by then, or if they're going to try to make any trades or anything to at least get some other talent to try to stay competitive. Apparently, they have a plan. They haven't said what that is, but they're obviously going to offer those two guys, Klay and KD, the max money. But I don't know, man. This is just going to be kind of like a year, like a gap year. It's just going to be lost.
Recovery year.
Yeah, pretty much, which is sad. I mean, what a shitty way to end a finals, with back-to-back games where two of your best players suffer, catastrophic injuries, essentially.
It's crazy because the Warriors getting swept in the finals would have literally been their best option.
Yeah, because then the Klay and KD thing both might not have happened.
Game 4, no Game 5, and no Game 6.
Yeah, but you never.
But of course, you try to win, obviously. Yeah.
But none of that was to discredit Toronto. I mean, they played excellent. So let's talk a little more about them. Obviously, we mentioned their depth and just they had such good quality guys and how dominant Kawhi was.
Whole playoffs, really.
Yeah, averaged 30 and 9 on 50 and 40, I think. Shooting percentages. I don't know. He was one of the greatest individual playoff runs ever. His team was excellent too.
And it's even greater when you put it together with the defense that he's been playing.
Yeah, not to mention how good a defense he's been playing.
Seriously,
when it ends in a chip, can't get better than that. Especially against the defending champs. Granted, they were injured, but still, I mean, it's an all-time run for sure. And let's talk about Kyle Lowry, how good he was for this whole series, and Pascal Siakam too. He was really good. I know you're not so high on Pascal Siakam, but he still averaged like 20 and 8 or something like that in the finals.
Like the fact that they got that kind of production
From so many
Lowry and
guys.
Siakam.
Yeah.
But like especially like those two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lowry was just amazing too.
Yeah, I think this kind of was redefining for Kyle Lowry and his
absolutely.
legacy. I mean, he averaged good numbers in the playoffs. He averaged like 16 and 8 on good shooting in the finals. I mean, this was
firing.
Yeah, he played so well in this final series, and I think this whole thing kind of helped to diminish every bad thing said about, playoff Lowry in years past, and this just kind of swept all that aside. And to play this well and win a championship throughout the playoffs and the finals is just that's going to be the new narrative, and no longer the old stuff that people were saying about him. But yeah, as far as for Kawhi Leonard, he looks like the happiest man in the world. Like celebrating with his team and at the championship parade, and he just looks really happy to be there with his guys. And he did the interview with Kyle Lowry and Rachel Nichols, and he just looked like he was really happy, and his family looks really happy. What do you think? What do you think about the idea that he might stay in Toronto? Like, what do you think?
I think it'd be great for his career. I mean, he's got his team. Like, got a championship team there.
Yeah, this is obviously a championship level team. They just won.
Like, yeah, but like but I'm saying, like, in comparison to like other possible destinations, I know they kind of opened it up today, to like the Knicks or the Nets, but I don't think those are realistic spots.
Yeah, the best basketball move would be to stay right where you are. I mean, you've got a great team around you. You'll contend for at least a couple more years.
They love you there.
Yeah, you're worshipped there. Essentially, your teammates love you. It seems like he loves his teammates. I don't see a basketball reason for him to leave right now at this point in time.
I mean,
what'd you say?
Like, it's not like they have like, they still have salary cap. I'm sorry, flexibility.
Do they?
Like, cause I know Marc Gasol. They're trying to like renegotiate because his salary ends after next year. They're trying to get him on like a long term. Instead of him opting into his $26 million option, which I know, yeah, it's like, hey man, he was really good for them, but it's kind of
at his age. I mean, you might want to try to lower that and lengthen it a little more. I mean, that's crazy.
And you're benefiting too from Van Vliet making only $9 million.
Man. From undrafted to key guy in the finals, like, man.
Exactly.
I think he had
Pascal
14 a game on like 50-something% shooting from three.
He had 2 games in the finals where he just like took over.
Yeah, man. I remember. It was crazy.
And think about this. It's like you got him, Pascal, and OG combining to make $13 million, which that's flex. Like, those are 3. I feel like OG is going to be a pivotal player too.
Yeah.
So those are 3 really good guys that'll help you out.
Pascal's in line for a bag though in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Especially
I think they should get
his
him
progression.
Yeah, get him locked down now. Don't let him go into free agency next year.
Yeah, you got to extend him first chance you get. It should be done today.
Because you extend him while there's still questions about him. Like, people be like, hey man, he's good, but this is the first year he's done this. No, get him.
What's
get
funny
him on the
about
books
that?
now.
People just like what you just said. You said, while there's questions about him, it's like, dude, people question him. It's like, he just won a championship as like this arguably the second best player on the team.
Yeah.
And
I think Lowry was, but
that's why I said arguably. I mean, those top 3, Kawhi, Lowry, and Siakam.
I would have put Siakam. I would have put Siakam's importance just in the finals behind Kawhi, Kyle, and even Fred. Honestly, Fred just had an amazing finals.
I mean, all 4 of those guys did. I mean, the whole team. Again, the whole team really just had amazing finals.
Yeah, it's like Surge, man. Those last 3 games,
dude. He was blocking so many shots, scoring points, getting rebounds, making good plays. Like, excellent defense.
He was.
I'm so happy for Serge, man.
I want to say he was the difference, but he's the difference.
There were
Fred was the difference.
So many guys were the difference.
Siakam, it was insane.
Yeah, the whole team just had an amazing finals.
But he just came out those last 3 games, and I was like, okay, you look like a guy making 20 plus a year.
Danny Green was
he was amazing.
Too.
Oh,
just,
Danny.
Literally all of them, man. There's not one guy you can point to and say they weren't good, unless they didn't play.
I think I think Danny should come back on a very team friendly contract next year, though.
Yeah, I mean he's not worth like okay. Let me say this. He's really good, obviously, excellent shooter, but he's not worth $15 million a year or $10 million a year. Like he's like I'd say probably between $5 and $8 million.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a great number to get him at. I think this year
There's
was
a lot of
making
teams
closer
that are
to.
going to be going after him, though.
Yeah. Oh, the Lakers especially.
Yeah, we'll talk about them a little bit later, but
right,
yeah, man. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I was going to get into it, but
okay.
You're right. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Last few things I want to kind of mention here is: do you think Steph Curry's legacy should have any kind of stain on it because he lost this finals with an injured? Obviously his teammates were injured. KD didn't play. Is this any kind of? Do you see this as any kind of knock on Steph Curry? I mean, he still averaged like 35 and 5.
I have no problem not giving.
What'd you say? You have no problem what?
I have no problem not down. So like, I have no problem not trying to down him for losing this.
Right.
But we do have to realize, that one year where he practically had no one around him either, and it seemed like
LeBron. Yeah, I mean they both lost in 6. I mean, this isn't anything like the other team was just better because they weren't healthy in both scenarios.
I think we can take away, because I mean you heard Iguodala is talking about guys. Didn't he compare him to Jordan?
Who?
Or something? Didn't he compare him to Jordan or something?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
He said he's one of the best players of all time, like up there with MJ, I think is what the quote was. That was a while ago. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah, I think this could have been a series that put him in the top 10 all time. Maybe he still gets there. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
but I don't think it should be a knock.
Yeah, I don't think so either. His team wasn't healthy. The same way it shouldn't be a knock on LeBron for losing in 2015. I mean, it's kind of the same situation. You were beaten by a better team because of the health issues, but that's not to discredit the team that won.
Right.
A point I wanted to make is like Jeff Van Gundy said this on the air. He said every championship team catches breaks along the way. And I got to thinking, I was like, whether it's a call that goes your way, an injury that goes your way, a loose ball that bounces your way, or really any factor that can benefit you, it happens to every championship team, and you can't discredit anybody's rings or accomplishments because of those things, because they just happen. And if that were the case, you can go back and say, I think I was telling you this, is you can discredit countless rings, for this reason or that reason, but at the end of the day, a championship is a championship, in my opinion. Like I don't give into any of that like nonsense, but I did want to make that point that a ring is a ring, and like it's hard to win a championship. So props to anybody who's ever done it. And I'm really happy for the Raptors. I mean, first time in history, first year of Kawhi. I hope he stays.
Me too.
And then it's history, And it's so good to see for guys like Kyle Lowry and Serge. Serge should have had a ring in 2016, more than likely.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Joked.
Here we are today. So I'm just really happy for all of them. All right, so let's talk about the Pelicans and the Lakers. Groundbreaking, earth-shattering news. Okay, Pelicans agreed to a deal to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers for Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks. One of those picks is the number 4 overall pick in the draft that is taking place in 3 days. So, what do we think? What was your initial reaction to this? I'll tell you mine in a second.
Even though I knew it was happening.
Yeah, I mean, we've been hearing this rumor for like months now, right?
the longest time.
Yeah.
Yet, as soon as I got the notification, I was like, what?
It's because, like, when it's actually a thing and it's official, it means so much more than speculation, obviously. So I got a story, actually. I was at dinner with my family, and they were asking me about, what classes I'm going to be taking for this upcoming semester. and I was explaining to them, and I see my phone light up with a Woj tweet, and I was like, hold on. And I look at it, and I see the deal. Like, the first things I saw was Anthony Davis and Lakers, and I was like, oh my god. And I read it, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, hold on. And I was I'm on my phone at the dinner table, like, in shock, retweeting and liking this stuff and seeing what the timeline is saying and looking at the memes and the replies and whatnot. And, like, for the rest of the dinner, I was just, like, thinking about what this means for everything. The future of the league for next year, for LeBron, and for the Lakers in general, for the Pelicans. Like, this was great. So I was, like, on my phone for, like, 60% of the rest of the dinner, but it's cool. My bad, family. Oh my god, I just said fam. Somebody come kill me. Anyway, so but my initial, like, thoughts are, like, this is great for both sides. I mean, the Pelicans already have the number 1 pick. Now they have the number 4 pick, which they're actually probably going to trade, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Pelicans get a young core to build around, and they're getting Zion too. And they have, like, those pick swaps for the next, how many years is it? Like 7 years
Forever.
or something like that?
Yeah. It's
They basically
when I
own
looked
the
back
Lakers'
at it,
future.
yeah, practically. I know. Well, I looked back at it to see the specific details, and it was the 2023 pick and the 2025 pick that they could do pick swaps on.
Okay.
And the rest of them, the rest of them I think were just like it was just those two. So, like, the Lakers will get their pick in 2022 and 2024.
So it's not 3 first-round picks and pick swaps. The pick swaps are part of the deal with the 3 first-round picks.
The pick swaps are part of the future. But I mean, but you think about it, it's like in 2025, do we know they're going to be good?
No, and that's the problem. Is LeBron will probably be out of the league by then. They'll probably keep Anthony Davis in free agency. He said he's going to re-sign there, and that's where he wanted to go to begin with. So they're going to be able to build around him for the next however many years. But still, at the same time, they had to give up a lot to get him. But they had to. I mean, LeBron's window is only so big, and they had to get him a second superstar. And this is who he wanted, So if they win a chip, which I think they will, whether it's next year or the year after or whatever, we talked earlier about how the Warriors are having a gap year pretty much. So no one's going to have to worry about them. So it's wide open, So,
but where do you see the Lakers? But I'm saying as of right now, because I mean the big debate's been outside of if they can get a star, should they go for that 3rd star, or should they fill the roster with auxiliary pieces? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Kind of fill the kind of surround them with.
Yeah, so we just saw the Raptors do this exact thing, where they have a superstar, another all-star, another borderline all-star, and then complementary pieces. Is that kind of what you're saying? And we just saw them win a championship that way.
Do you really need more than LeBron James and Anthony Davis in terms of star power?
So we just saw the Raptors do this. I think the Lakers need to follow this blueprint and use all that money to sign guys to not max deals and fill their roster with guys who can, 1, shoot, and 2, play the game of basketball at a high level, like we saw Toronto's role players do. So if they can go out and get guys like that, there's no reason that they need to go out and try to chase a 3rd superstar, because granted, 3 superstars is going to give you a title. We saw that with Golden State 2 years in a row in 2017, 2018, KD, Steph, and Klay. I mean, it was championships are never easy to win, but they made it look that way, and they earned it, right? And if the Lakers do something like that, sure, they can do it, but I think they'd be better off having guys, good elite role players, surrounding LeBron and AD. I feel like that'd be the better way to go, because you don't have to have so much. Not like those guys want to get their numbers. You know what I'm saying? The superstars,
And
if they pair them all together. Hold on one second.
and
I'll let you
and
go in just a sec. But
oh, sorry.
they're all going to want to get their numbers, and you're going to have to figure out how to play with each other. Whereas if you just have LeBron and AD, they'll figure out how to play each other with the other complementary pieces. I just feel like that'd be easier and a better kind of way of going about things. But anyway, what's your take on
Exactly.
that?
No, I agree. That's where I was going to kind of get at. I mean, to add on to that, it's just like if Toronto taught us anything also, or if the Warriors taught us anything, they lost those two guys. Next season, they're in huge trouble.
That's a good point, because if you lose one or two of them, then you don't have anybody to fill the void.
Because you got and get Kyrie, or you got and get lucky and get Kawhi. Anthony Davis is not very reliable.
He's kind
like
of
he gets
prone.
injured.
Yeah, frequently.
Yeah, so you lose.
They're not usually big injuries, but still they keep him out.
And you lose a guy like that, and your team is basically screwed. So
LeBron's getting older, so I think
absolutely he's not going to be playing as many minutes in the regular season. I hope, right?
I hope not. If they get a deep bench and other elite role players in the starting lineup to go with that, they don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Because we've seen it with teams like Milwaukee and Toronto who do this. So I feel like they should follow that blueprint rather than trying to chase a third star, especially because there's the complications with whether or not they'll have enough money for another max guy or not. Depending how much money they have available whenever the trade is completed by, or something like that. I don't know. It's a mess, but I don't think this is anything to worry about. And if they do chase another superstar, they're gonna have to take a pay cut. But I like we've been saying, I think they should go for depth and quality rather than top heavy.
Yeah, but and plus on top of that, I don't think they really have a realistic shot at getting any of those stars now that the Pelicans not refuse, but it looks like the Pelicans want to get that deal done by July 6th.
Talking about trade. Oh yeah, that deal. Yeah, because if they wait, I think they're going to trade that number 4 pick. That's what all the insiders are saying.
Exactly.
And whoever has the rights to that 4th pick, they're going to want that player that they get in the draft in 3 days in the building as soon as possible. And for Summer League, so they're not going to wait. So I don't think the Lakers have a choice. They're going to have to work with what they have. And honestly, no one should feel bad for them because they should follow the blueprint of a championship team we just saw win a championship doing what they should do. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of scared for their front office, though, because I feel like they're going to try to still go for another superstar just because that's the type of, bad front office that they have. They just landed Anthony Davis, but still, it doesn't seem like something the Lakers would do is go for quality rather than top heavy. I just don't see the Lakers doing something like that, just because of the Lakers, and we've seen how they've been run for the past year. They were a dumpster fire for a lot of this season. All the drama surrounding the front office, Magic leaving, all that stuff. I don't want to get into it again because it hurts my head, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to make a mistake when it's clear what they should do. So
odds, man. The odds, to me, it's just the funniest part was how their odds to win the championship were.
How just they were the
3
favorites.
to 1.
They're the favorites.
Yeah, 3 to 1.
A lot can change from now and the end of the season, obviously. Whether it's injuries or trades or signings, free agents, all this and that. We don't know. Like, as of right now, as of today, I would say they're the favorites.
Oh, no, I disagree.
Well, okay, obviously Toronto just won a championship. If you bring back the exact same team, obviously they might be able to do it again. But I wouldn't say they're the favorites, because you never know. Things change so much. But I think it's fair to say that they're definitely contenders with LeBron and AD. You know what I'm saying?
Why are people glossing over Milwaukee?
Because they lost in 4 straight games after going up 2-0 to the Raptors. I mentioned them earlier.
60-win team. Malcolm Brogdon wasn't fully healthy.
Yeah, they're definitely contenders, no doubt.
Yeah,
they could have been in this position where the Raptors are.
Off this 60-win season, I think they should get some love too.
Yeah, but when you lose, and then the team that beat you wins the championship, you're kind of going to be forgotten about until next season. But I get what you're saying.
I would put Toronto as the favorite.
Yeah, I mean they just won a championship.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But you got it. Like all I'm trying to say is it's fair to say that they're definitely in position to win a championship. I mean, you got two of the best players in the NBA, two of the top 5 NBA players, and anytime you have that, you're in really, really good position.
But didn't Philly have a lot of talent?
Yeah, but they didn't have two of the top 5 players in the NBA like Golden State had for a couple years in a row,
but they had 4 of the top 20 or 25.
Yeah, that's fair, but I don't know, man. I don't think Philly has 4 of the top 25.
I think
maybe,
so. I mean,
maybe 2.
Nah, the 25? Wow.
Maybe 3.
I think definitely.
Oh, you know what? Maybe you might be right. But hey, those guys are lower than Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. You know what I'm trying to say? Like they were, their superstars were better superstars than what Philly has. I mean, I think Philly only has 1 superstar.
I just think people are not giving enough attention to the fact that, you know, there are other teams who have chemistry under their belt already, like Denver and Houston and, you know, those kind of teams, while the Lakers just put together, you know, I mean, you got to practically restart, like change your entire offense. Whatever you were doing last year, you got to change it now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Davis has to be the focal point.
Yeah, their roster is going to look completely different. And a lot can change from now and then. So it probably isn't fair to say they're the favorites, obviously. But we'll see what happens in free agency and what trades and what roster changes they make. But when the season starts, we'll have a much better idea. And then especially after the trade deadline. But I'm excited, man. This is going to be quite the off season, and we'll
this
be
has
right
potential.
On top of it. Yeah, to be one of the best of all time. And
as long as our friend Damon Jones on what is it, Get Up?
Yeah.
This guy had the nerve to tweet, "Oh, I have some earth-breaking news on Monday," and then he has the nerve to come on the show today and be like, "Oh, you know, Kawhi Leonard's considering the Lakers." Who didn't know this?
Man, this is all just, let's just throw something out there that we can already assume and make it into a story. That's really what all this is.
Earth-breaking. Let that sink in. Earth-breaking.
Oh my god. Man, this is such crap. We don't really know, unless it comes from Woj, it doesn't, or Shams, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Nope,
or Brian Windhorst. Like and Chris Haynes. There's reporters I trust, and then there's just, okay, whatever.
You know whose word I don't trust?
Who?
I don't trust Rick Bucher.
Oh.
And I don't trust that Mark Stein guy. I don't trust him at all.
I trust Mark Stein.
No, Rick Bucher's the Bleacher Report.
Oh, he's the senior writer. I was gonna say, isn't he the head writer? Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of that AJ dude. What's his name? I don't know. Somebody's like the Lakers writer guy, and he always tries to break stuff or whatever, but. Can't think of his name right now, but whatever.
Yeah, but it's just like, okay, you know, you can't, and the same, you know, you hear other analysts too, like Chris Carter, who are like, oh, he's going here, and then they change it up, and they're like, oh, he might go here. It's like,
all speculation. No one really knows until things are done. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, unless it's Woj. I just think
unless it's Woj, yeah.
I just think Woj knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's the 31st franchise. He knows everything that goes on inside and around the NBA.
Perfect description, honestly.
That's what they call him, the 31st franchise. Because he has.
That's amazing.
He has Twitter. He has the entire basketball universe at his disposal, like literally at his fingertips. Like he's the puppet master behind everything, behind breaking news.
He gets news before I bet some of the teammates of whatever players getting traded.
Exactly. He knows the news before. Like, he's the only one on earth who knows the news at that point.
Absolutely.
And then everybody, like, you've seen players who get traded. The way they found out about the trade was on Twitter from Woj. So you're absolutely right when you say that he knows before the players know.
Yeah, man, Woj hit me up, and I was like, what? I got traded.
What if he DM'd him before tweeting the thing? That'd be hilarious.
He's just like, yo, you out of there.
But no, I mean, this is going to be a crazy offseason. I can't wait to see what the league looks like. But the last thing I wanted to say about all that was that the championship, whoever wins next year is going to be wide open. The finals are wide open from either conference.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to see what unfolds. We'll see what the league looks like essentially without the Warriors. That might be a hot take now. Things could change, but it kind of feels like that's what we're going to be able to experience for the first time.
The first time, it's amazing.
So let's just run through some other quick little news. Apparently, Kyrie Irving is seriously considering going to the Nets. I think that'd be cool. I don't know if I like the idea of Kyrie Irving and D'Angelo Russell in the same backcourt, though. They're both ball-dominant guys. I don't really see that working out. We saw how it worked out in Boston when he needed to share the ball.
Right.
But I don't know. I kind of like D'Lo there, and there's rumors about him going to Indiana. And I would kind of like that, actually, with him and Oladipo.
I would love that. That'd be a very exciting team to watch.
I don't know. Yeah, for sure. I just don't know if I like the idea of Kyrie Irving and D'Angelo Russell. I like the idea of him in Brooklyn, but it's another young team who made the playoffs last year, who started to establish a winning culture, and then we saw what happened when he did the same thing going back this season with Boston, who made a deep run in the playoffs. Without him, I just have a fear that he's going to destroy another young up-and-coming team. But, the situations are far different, for the Nets, so that's just me more making a joke than anything. But I like the idea of him in Brooklyn. I like that idea. Yeah. I just don't think I like the idea of him and D'Angelo in the same backcourt.
I could see them both working too, honestly. But yeah, it's kind of hard because Kyrie's a ball dominant guy. You need a catch and shoot guy next to him. So
yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to see that working out, but it could be done. I mean, they just have to buy in.
Right.
And know that they're both capable of doing it. I just feel like he didn't think his Celtics teammates were capable of it. I don't know. No one really knows. We'll see where he goes. That's going to be a story. But apparently, Woj said he's seriously considering the Nets. So as far as I'm concerned, that's law, and you can pretty much pencil it in. He signed with Rock Nation, for crying out loud. Literally, like, it's like associated with Jay-Z, and we know his ties to Brooklyn, and it's like his agent now is going to be like the brother of somebody associated with the Nets or something like that. So you can pretty much all but book it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see. I mean, he could change his mind too. But another trade that went down is the Brooklyn Nets traded their 17th overall pick to the Hawks which basically gave them more cap space to sign another max free agent. And the Hawks gave up Taurean Prince and a second-round pick. So the Hawks get the 17th pick in the draft, and now they have 3 first-round picks that they can use to trade up. So I hope they can do that. The rumors are that they're trying to get the number 4 pick. So we'll see. I don't know. You don't like that?
I mean, I like it. I like it. Yeah.
I feel like whether or not those picks are traded or not, they'll still get good stuff because I just trust the Hawks front office with what they've done lately.
Definitely have made some great moves.
Drafted very well, yeah. I mean, but if they do get the number 4 pick, whoever they pair with Trae Young, John Collins, and Kevin Huerter, I mean, that's going to be an exciting team.
Yeah.
And I'm also excited to watch the Pelicans next year. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but man, that's going to be a fun young team to watch. Lonzo, Holiday, Zion, Brandon Ingram, and they might keep Julius Randle. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent, so whoever picks up Julius Randle might have like the signing of the offseason, at least for guys who aren't marquee guys.
Yeah. Julius is probably gone.
Yeah, whoever gets him though, that's going to be a steal, for sure.
Yeah.
Last thing here is apparently the Rockets are making their entire roster available for trades except for James Harden, and apparently there's like tension between James Harden and Chris Paul about. I was reading earlier. It's like Chris Paul wants to coach James Harden, and James Harden isn't taking well to it, and is just like, look, I know who I am. Back off. Or
yeah.
And apparently Chris Paul cherished the moments he got to play without Harden. But Daryl Morey was also on ESPN Radio this morning talking about how Chris Paul never demanded a trade, or maybe there's not turmoil, but maybe there's tension between the two, but that just comes with the territory of wanting to win. But I just feel like things aren't so great in H-Town right now. What do you think about all that? when I paused, that was your time to chime in, and you didn't.
No, sorry. Your mic, you just literally turned into a robot for the last 5 or 6 seconds.
Damn, that's tough.
Like an absolute robot. No, but I really didn't hear what you said.
That's hilarious. What are your thoughts about the, tension between Chris Paul and James Harden?
I mean, I agree with Chris Paul. I mean, you watch them play together, and it's like James Harden is just making bad decisions, turning the ball over.
Yeah.
He does a lot of good things too, but you can't win a championship playing the way James does.
No, I agree with that. So Chris Paul has a right to be kind of annoyed with him.
Absolutely. I'm sure the other guys are too.
Yeah, for sure. And this was some of the concerns that were being speculated about when this trade first happened a couple years ago.
I don't get the vibe that James Harden really wants to win a championship. I think that's what I feel like. The way he plays does not tell me a guy who's willing to sacrifice.
Yeah, you kind of have a point. I mean, he's about getting his 30 or 40 for sure.
Oh, that streak, that 30-point streak.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's not to discredit him in any way. I mean, he's an excellent player, but he's got to play a little more balanced system. I think part of that is D'Antoni's fault.
He's got to play a lot smarter. Yeah, got to play a lot smarter. But I did hear Stephen A. this morning say that he heard that Harden was talking to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I actually heard that clip too. I was watching they upload the clips on YouTube about the segments, and I was watching it.
Listen, man,
if they get Jimmy Butler, that'd be
But I'm saying their window,
James Harden run the window, point, trade CP3.
Yeah, the window is open. This is the widest the window's ever been open.
Oh yeah, I mentioned that like a few minutes ago.
You could make an argument they're the favorite in the West.
Yeah,
you can make an argument.
They're the people who gave the Warriors the most trouble.
Yeah, and now that trouble's not going to be there anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But again, the Lakers didn't have Anthony Davis, so I don't know. So much can change, and we'll just have to see what the rosters are looking like, at the start of the season, and after the trade deadline to really kind of and see who's at the top of each conference and what teams are looking like what. I mean, I remember this year I couldn't decide who to pick out of the East, out of those top four, and I feel like we're gonna have something similar, but with like the top six. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be. The
healthiest team wins.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's gonna be a crazy offseason, and we'll be on top of it. It's Woj bomb season, so we'll probably get some over the next couple of days, especially before the draft. Things are really gonna start happening after the draft.
Okay.
But yeah, that's going to do it for today, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Comment if you want to see more. Or comment, let us know what you think. Subscribe for more, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.